Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador, and we've got the fabulous Barbara Jones today. Wait to see the fun project she has for you. A fun project and a little inspiration. So say hi, say where you are from. We love to see that. We are live, and we are live on Brother's Facebook and YouTube pages, and I can see all of you. Actually, many of you are already joining us before we were even live. You were ready and you were here. So by the way, if you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified of the live shows. You'll never miss one. And if you're on Facebook, be sure to like, and you can share this episode to your own page, and it's easy to rewatch. All right, I see everybody in, and Barbara, I see Barbara. So let's bring Barbara to the party. Barbara, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great to see you. Great to see you on this beautiful first week of fall.
Yes, I put my sweater on because I feel it's wonderful to be a little chilly. Love it.
A little chilly. Well, you should have seen last week's show, by the way. We had a ladies' night in, and the girls wore their pajamas, and I didn't get the memo, or I would have never had to get dressed that day. So I kind of like that. I cannot wait till next year. It's already on the calendar.
Okay.
So I love the project you're going to be working on. So why don't you share with everyone what you're going to be doing today?
Okay. Well, have you ever started out with one idea and it kind of evolved into a totally separate idea?
Oh, like every time I start a project?
Right. Pretty much. Yeah. So, it is national. I don't know whether it's a week or a month, but National Mental Health. And we tried to figure out mental health to me, I sew for my mental health. This is where my happy place is. And I wasn't quite sure how to show that. So Kim and I, my manager and I kind of put our heads together and we thought, well, journal cover, that would be kind of cool. And then about 2 weeks ago, you had Kim Montanese in there, and she did a stinking cute journal cover.
That journal cover was cute.
Was the bomb. That was the bomb, right? And I thought, all right, well, I had a quilted one all ready to go for the front of a for my date book, And I thought, I can't top that. That's just too cute. So I decided that I would make a bag. And I've had this fabric for a long time. When my design center first came out, I was looking for fabric that I could quilt around designs to just enhance them, right? So I had this fabric for a long time, and it is animals doing yoga.
Oh my gosh. Barbara, that looks like me doing
well yeah. Okay, and here's the other side, because I think there's 8 animals that do yoga.
Oh my gosh, is this the cutest thing I've ever seen?
Yeah. So I was going to do the whole journal cover and the quilted yoga animals and all sorts of good stuff, and I thought, no, we're going to change it. So I went to the bag idea, and I was pretty happy the way the bag came out, but I still had the journal cover to work on. So I quick, sewing with cork is easy, and it just comes out beautiful every single time you do it.
Oh, look at that.
There's my journal cover, and here's the horse with a pocket on the back side. So it kind of goes with the bag, But there's a pencil holder in the journal cover as well. Sewing with cork is so easy. I mean, you just measure the journal cover and then add like 3 inches for your inside flap, and then embroider on it or stitch on it, whatever you'd like to do. So that was kind of simple, and I was very pleased the way they came out. I love the blue and the tan, and it kind of goes.
I was going to say that fabric has a little shine to it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's a metallic. It's got a metallic backing in it. Yeah, isn't that pretty?
And then the embroidery looks like. Do you have metallic thread in the embroidery too, or
no? No, it just picked up the glistening from the cork itself. And this is one of the built-ins in the luminaire. So
wow,
and it's beautiful. A little applique. So I kind of used the fabric that I'd used on the bag in the applique. So that's my story. That's where we started. So these bags, I don't know how I'm going to create them when I start. I just know that I have inspiration to make a bag. And this one I've carried with me for many months and it needs a good washing. But the inside of the bag has all sorts of pockets in here.
Ooh.
And it's quilted. And it was a design, some of the designs I have purchased from the before. But the thing I love to do is quilt with my decorative stitches. So when I can't fit something in the hoop, like a strap, I don't know whether you can see this, the strap. And as I said, I've carried this for a lot of months and it needs a good washing, but I quilt with my decorative stitches. There it is. There's a good sign. There's,
Oh yeah, that's
so,
beautiful.
you need a pretty hefty strap to support these bags. So I kind of got a great idea after I did let me take the yoga mat out of the bag so I can handle it a little bit better. And I never know how it's going to go together. I just start with a square and then I add a side panel and it
Oh,
just evolves. So I knew I wanted the 4 animals on the front, but I love, again, quilting with my decorative stitches. And I think we forget that we have the decorative stitches on the embroidery side. So you get a beautiful decorative stitch and you can place it just exactly where you want it.
wow.
So, yeah. So I use a lot of the decorative stitches in my quilting, and I have some samples here. Let me just pull them up. Of course, they're under all the hoops that I had laying here, right?
I'm reading all the comments. I think there's going to be a bidding war for
No,
your bag with those yoga animals.
yoga animals, yes.
I think Brother's going to have to come up with an entire new embroidery collection based on this show.
Well, I have had that fabric for probably 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
I
Oh
knew at
my
some
gosh.
point, I collect it. We all collect fabric, right? So,
No,
yeah,
I don't.
no, not at all. I used to tell my husband that it's insulation down here in the basement. It helps. It helps insulate the walls. So these are old, but and you can see the quilting, the stitches
Oh
here.
yeah.
Here, maybe you can see it better on the back. But I do
Oh,
a
look
lot
at
of
those.
decorative stitch quilting. This was before, actually, this one was before we even had my design center. So you have to kind of implement, come up with things to do to quilt thing, especially, our border frame or our border sashing in the embroidery side only goes to an inch, 1.18, I think it is. So some of the borders that I was working with are less than that. So you have to use a decorative stitch. So here's decorative stitches in here.
Oh, look at those.
Just
So
quilt.
you're not stitching all of these. You're actually embroidering these.
Right, right.
And I
So
want to
I
make that
set it
clear
up.
because some people
So it,
ask what decorative stitch is it? It's in the embroidery side.
yes. I was so glad somebody was asking about that. All right, let me get rid of these and
So
let me show
beautiful.
you.
I see some of you asking, where'd you get the fabric? It's not a Brother product, and she bought it years ago.
Years
So
ago. I don't even know
you
where
might
it
want to
was.
do an internet search for it.
Yeah. I would say that was an easy search. Fabric with animals doing yoga. That would probably come up pretty good. All right. So on the embroidery side, and I'll show you on the machine in a minute, but on the embroidery side, not only do we have a lot of our sewing motif stitches, but we have what, 20 decorative sashing stitches. But did you know that in the motif embroidery area, we have matching stitches to go with those sash
Look
designs?
at that. Absolutely beautiful. Patty's saying, Barb, I totally forgot we had those stitches.
Right. We all do. We all forget. But these are the sashing stitches. And then look at see them? It's
Oh,
hard to get them
wow.
all in the screen, but
Yeah.
they match. They match, and about 8 of them match. So you can, you can do your wider sashing with the decorative sash, or the regular sashing, and then you can do the narrower ones with the stitches that match. So cool, huh?
Beautiful.
And I didn't get a chance to stitch out a sample of the other designs. There's tons of cool stitches on there. There's diamonds and Christmas stuff and ornaments and angels and all sorts of things. But just this was a sample that I did a
Look
little
at
while
that.
ago. But don't forget, you've got the bees and the bikes and the cars. And what is that? That's just flowers, a ladybug and a flower. I mean, these are all stitches
Wow.
that you can do, I mean, on your embroidery side, and you can get them the size that you want, and they'll be straight. You know how some of those stitches go side to side? Well, if you do them in the embroidery side, you can line them up perfectly and get them where you want to go. That's why I chose to do this on the embroidery side, because I have my camera and my projector, and I can make the size that I want and then embroider it. So after I got that done, then I had to do straps. Well, straps are kind of, you need a strong strap. You need something that's thick and easy to hold on to. And I like my straps long, because I usually put them on top of my briefcase as I'm, wheeling in the airport. So I thought, well, why don't I continue the decorative sashing on the straps? So that's what I did. So when you create a strap, and let me get the black one back up here so you can see it a little bit easier. You don't want the seam on the very edge of the strap. You kind of want it to roll, and of course with my dark sweater here, let's get there. Can you see it? You want it to roll over so that the seam is on the underneath side, so you don't have to worry about that, getting the seam straight when you're stuffing the strap with your whatever you use, the padding, the batting, because
Yes.
these are padded so that they have some heft to them. So you cut the top side about a half inch about a half inch bigger than your bottom. You can go a whole inch, and then it just wraps around a little bit deeper, so that you don't have any of the backing, if it's a different color, showing on the front when you're doing your stitching. So that's just a little, oh, by the way. But what I did is I completely forgot that we have a border frame from years ago.
Oh, I still have that. Yes. It's like, yes, yes.
If you're lucky enough to have the larger one, good. I'm not sure that one is still available, but the 7x4 is definitely still available. And the thing that I love the most on this is the fact that there are tick marks, or there's the center, and then there's tick marks out. So when you're centering something, you can actually center it just perfectly. So when you line it up in your hoop, you can actually see that you're going straight. So and I didn't need any stabilizer, because this is a padded piece of strapping. The one thing I will say to you, remember to put in a matching bobbin. Because the first one I didn't. And I thought, oh, it's going to show. The back is going to show. No, I want the matching bobbin. So I reinvented the strap and put in the matching bobbin. So both top and bottom are the same color. So yeah, but you forget about all the little goodies that we have had that we've collected over the years, right? So, um, that's kind of the story about this one. Doesn't have any pockets in it because I didn't think ahead. So
Oh, that would have to be a redo. I need lots of pockets.
I know, I know, and all I was thinking of is how I was gonna quilt it all. So that's and I did put some padding in it as well to make it puff a little bit because I really like the puffy effect when and these bags have to have some sort of, they should stand by themselves too. So
Right.
they're
So
not
a few people are asking, so this came off of my design center in the Luminaire, correct?
um the sashing piece.
Yeah.
This is your quilting sash designs.
Okay.
And I'll show you where they are. When we go to the machine, I'll show you where they are. Okay.
Great. And then the other ones were from my design center, but I saw some of you saying about the decorative stitches she used in my design center. If you have my design center, I don't know which versions had those decorative stitches, but as the machines progressed, there was more added. So check in your my design center.
It's not, the design stitches stand alone in the embroidery side.
Yeah.
They are not in my design center. They are a standalone embroidery design. They're in the buttonhole section.
Okay.
On your machine. So we can go to the machine.
Yeah.
And I'll show you where they are. And I'll show you how I did some of the long stitch, because you're bringing up motifs and they're only tiny. So you have to add and add and add. So we'll go and do that too. Okay.
That sounds great, because I see a lot of people saying, where did it come from? So this is going to be great. And I would love to see in the comments as she does this, if you're like, I never knew this was in my machine, because I think those are the best parts of these shows.
Right. So, all right, let me switch to my machine and we will go from there.
All right. And while she's switching, keep your comments rolling. I love reading them. And then we'll take little breaks for questions too. But this is going to be very cool. And yes, she's on the Luminaire now. But again, check your embroidery machine too.
Yeah, these were on the Dream machine as well, the Stellaire. So yeah. All right. We have a machine up and running here. Okay. So wake up the machine and go to embroidery. And I think we probably just overlook this little guy right here, number 5. Now you have your long buttonholes, which give you, the adjustment. You can make them larger or smaller. For your shower curtains or your curtains or belt loops, that kind of thing. In the second section, you have the designs that go around the buttonholes. And my favorite was always the butterfly. So you could do the butterfly wing and then the other side, and then you would go back here and add the head and the body. Isn't that cool?
Oh, I love that. I love that. You've got a lot of wow moments going on. Jeannie's like, oh my gosh, I found them. Patty says, it's been on my machine from forever ago. I just totally forgot.
Yep, exactly. So I did 3 different sizes of these butterflies, and it's a sample a long time ago, but that's a fun thing to do. So you just set the butterfly wing and then bring in the body, and you can move them all together, and it's very easy. But these other designs are very pretty to put on either side of your buttonholes. Cool. I think that's cool. Okay, here are your motif stitches, and you have a lot of them. I mean, a lot. Let's go down. Let's bring the whole thing up on the screen. In other words, let's do a look at them here, and I'll bring it back out a little bit. But you have a lot of motif stitches. All right. I don't know how many. When we get to the end, it'll tell me how many, but look at these. How many times have we tried to use this in our sashing, and because the machine runs, it goes sideways and up and down and around, that we don't get it very straight? Well, that's easy to do when you have it in the embroidery design, because you're placing it, you're adding it all together and then stitching it out, and it doesn't have to move side to side. It just, the arm of the embroidery machine moves the side to side. So you're getting a perfect stitch. But yeah, I mean, look at these.
Wow.
I really think we just forget that they're there. There's some cross stitch. So your little, you can do, how many of you have done smocking?
I love smocking, but I've never really done it.
Yeah, we used to, well, I've done it years and years and years ago when we had to iron the pattern on with the dots and then we hand gathered it. And then they came out with the gathering machine and then we did smocking on top of the gathers. But yeah, that's the smocking or the gather or the cross stitch. And then we get into the larger designs, and this is where you start to see the designs that match your sashing. So here they are. This one, the 137, 138. There's 139 that could be used as well. I mean, these are cool designs. Let me just show you what the size is. Let me get rid of the that design. Okay, go back in here and go back. Let's go down here. There we go. And let me pull up and show you the size when you pull them up. So here it is. Now, can you see how tiny that is?
That's tiny.
That's tiny. So what you do is let's find one of the ones. Let's do the roses. Okay. It is tiny. I mean, it's, oops, wrong way. There we go. But what we forget also about in our machines, we're going to set this, and then I'm going to go into edit. And I used to call this my 9-button button, but it's my border button that we used to use with the border hoop to create additional stitches. So I have my basic, the one that I pulled up, but over here on the side, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. You have plus and minus, plus and plus, top and bottom. You have plus and plus, or minus and minus, top and bottom. So if I did a plus, it adds it right there. You see that?
Yeah.
I do another plus, and then I do a couple on the bottom. And if I want to squeeze one more in here, I just move this up and then put one at the bottom. Now I have a long line of decorative stitches I can stitch out. So I can also, if I wanted to create my own fabric, I could also go here and add the lines side to side. So I can run two rows of this or 3 rows of this.
Wow.
And I can stretch them out. So I can space them out or I can make them closer together. But I could create my own fabric before cutting something out. If you're making a bag or, a yoke of a shirt or a jacket, you could actually make your own quilted fabric with that.
Hey, so Barbara, somebody asked you where you got to that screen. Could you just show them again what that's
sure. Absolutely.
I took the banner up so they could see.
No, yeah. Okay, so it's in the embroidery. Let me pull this back a little bit. It is in number 5 on the luminaire right here. And it is the 3rd section over right there. There we go. And I'm telling you, let's go down to the bottom. We have 234 motif stitches that you can play with. Look at the cat and the fish.
Oh my gosh.
The dinosaur. We have ducks. We have an elephant and I'm not sure what. A clown, maybe, I'm not sure. A dog and a bone. So you have your cat and a fish and dog and bone.
It's an elephant doing yoga.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you go. You have a snail, you have a hedgehog, a bee. I mean, you can combine any of these also. I mean, you could combine, let's see the dog. Let's do the dog and set. And then we're going to add. Where's my dog? There's my kitty. And we're going to move this down. So we're going to set that. And then we're going to go and we're going to move it down. So we have a dog and a cat. And we're going to adjust here. Move. Okay, let's go up a little closer so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, we're going to move it down. So now I have a dog and a cat. And I want them to touch just so that they can, there we go. Now I'm going to say my 9 button, and I can go in here and create the dog and the cat, another dog and a cat. Oh, I have to group it. I'm sorry. Back. We're going to go back. Back. I have to group it first. Otherwise, I'm only going to get one. Delete. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. I talk to my machine all the time. Move. Center. Okay. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to group it. And then they're not going to, okay, they're not going to let me do that. Well, it was a good thought anyway, but I mean, you can actually go in here and make the, oh, I'm in the wrong one. There we go. But you can add and keep going. I guess you'd have to group them together a different way. I'll have to think on that. But anyway, so you can, I mean, all of these, let's go back to the embroidery pieces or the motifs and look at some of the other ones. I haven't joined them together in a while, but I know you can do it. Look at the trains, cars.
Oh my God, those are so cute.
Here's the train. Now, I know you can join the train because they give you the pieces to join the train. Soccer, rocking horse. What about a baby's gift with the little rocking horses and the Christmas tree and the stockings? And I mean, there's the ornaments. Here we're into the fall with the pumpkins. So yeah. So anyway, let's take one of these. Let's take the pumpkins. Okay, set that and go into my 9 button, and I'm going to add top and bottom. Okay, maybe I can move this over and let's go back here and get another one. Maybe we should get the ghost. Where's the ghost? But I think, it's fun putting these together. Here we go. All right. And now we're going to have the ghost. So we're going to go in here and do this. And then this. Okay, no, I know it's outside the embroidery frame. That's when you have to move it up so that you can get one more. But I think that's kind of cute. And then we can actually add them side to side. We can also cut them apart. Maybe that's where we have to do the cut apart to get the different ones. But we can add and move. And so there's lots of things you can do with this and stitch it out.
So easy.
So easy, right. But again, we forget that they're even there. So let me just pull up a screen or a hoop here. And I'm using my new 10 by 10 magnetic hoop. I love this hoop. I think this is becoming my new favorite hoop. So let's go back here and take away one of those. No, I don't want to do that. I want to take away the I'm going to move it over. I want to take away one of the horizontal ones. So take away. There we go. And now we're going to move this down and we can stitch those two out. So any other questions before I start stitching?
Everybody's loving this.
Okay.
Adopsy had an interesting question. And if you do that and make an entire section of embroidery like that, if you're making your own fabric, can you still cut a section out to go around another design like an applique, or would that be different? You do your fabric first and just put the applique on top?
If you know where the applique is going, you can avoid the applique. But
there you go, Dopsy. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I probably would do my applique first, then go in and do a scan so I can see where my applique is, and then arrange these according to where the applique already is.
Excellent.
Then you know exactly where it's going to go because you can see it.
Lucy said, is there a way to let it know that you're going to be using the largest frame so you can add as many designs that will fit in your hoop?
Okay, yes. And as you see, I already deleted one of these guys, and I have to delete one of these because I am using the 10 by 10 frame. So I have to fit it within the 10 inch margin. So let's go center this one and then center this one. And I'm going to move one over, and I can move the other one over. But I'm still 10.25, so I need to shrink it just a little bit. So I can either shrink it in the size, or I can take one of the designs away on both of them. Normally you can fill up the hoop. This whole screen represents the 10.5 by 16 hoop. So if you fill up this whole hoop, that's the largest hoop. But right now it's telling me that my design can only be used in the 10.5 or the 10.5 by 16. So what I'm going to do is minus out one of these, and then I'm going to center and move it over. And then I'm going to center this one. And now we have the ability to use the 10.5 by 10.5 inch hoop. All right. And I can move the whole thing over when I get to the embroidery side. So let's say, you know what? I'm going to do one more edit, and I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to do it in the I'm going to turn this off, and I'm doing it in the duplicate mode, and I'm going to put, there we go. So we have 3 rows now. Okay. So I'm going to select everything here. Let me go in here, select everything. Oh, here, sorry. There we go. And I'm going to center that. And then what I can do is when I select everything, I can go into my adjustments here, and I can say, okay, I want them to be equal in height. So I'm going to do the, look at the middle section and adjust them in height. So, whoops, no, that's not what I wanted. No, back. Undo. I love my undo button. All right, there it is. No, that's not it. I want to do them. I did this yesterday and it just worked fine. Now, why is it not working this time? Oh, well. Fiddle with that later, okay? So I think we're pretty close. Let's move this one up by itself just a little bit. That's why I like my grid. Okay, I think if you look here and here, I think it can come up just a little bit more. I love my grid. And we're going to say okay. And we're going to go to embroider. Now I could duplicate the whole thing and fill up my screen, but we're going to embroider. Now, because we have motif stitches, it would stop and cut at each one, because each motif is a separate entity. So what you want to do is go into layout, and you want to tell it to be all one color. It'll hesitate or stop, but it will not cut for the backup, for the from motif to motif. All right. That's a big deal. So, all right, we're going to go and actually just stitch.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
People say this would be so cute on ribbons. Lynn says decorating ribbons for Christmas. I totally agree.
Yes. And after we stitch this, I am going to show you how to use your border frame and use your sashing piece. Okay. So this is, we may not stitch the whole thing, but let's see if I got I may have the speed cut down. So yes. Oh my goodness. I have it cut down to 600. I must have been doing something in, come on. Oh, no, you know what? It sets its own speed. I forgot all about that. So this is another thing. When it knows it's doing something different.
We can't quite. Can you just slide your camera?
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
When I'm doing couching or this motif stitch, I forgot about that. It automatically reduces the speed because it knows what it takes to do the stitch properly. So it's automatically going to tell the machine what speed to go at. So I can't change that because it's set. Okay, so all right, we're going to just say okay. All right, now we're going to stitch. As I said, I love this frame. It gives me the width I need, and then the magnetic, the hold of the magnetic frame.
I love that. Hey, Shirley, while that's embroidering, Shirley had a question for you, and
Sure.
You can't stop and show it, but maybe you could just talk it. she said her frame doesn't highlight the size. How do I get it to do that? But one thing, you had your frame in the embroidery machine when you were picking stitches. So
It should highlight this size at the top. In other
yeah.
words, when let me back out a little bit, and we all know how it stitches. Oops. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I turned it off. Trying to touch the machine. All these buttons, I'm telling you. Okay. So up here, right next to your crosshair, right here, and let me zoom in a little bit on that, is what frames are available for you to use. And here's your size. So right next to it, it tells what size your design is. So if it knows it can use the 10 by 10 or the 10.5 by 10.5, that one's going to illuminate. If your size exceeds it, then the only one that will be illuminated is, and you have the 10 by 10 frame in, it'll tell you that it needs a larger frame. So I wanted to show you. Does that answer Shirley's question?
Shirley just message back if it didn't, but that sounded like a
No.
good answer
All right.
to me.
All right. If you want to see, let's see if this answers her question. Oh, I can't do this while it's stitching. In the help screen, or in the not the help the setting screen, you can actually set an outline for your size hoop, so you know exactly what size you're using. If you're not going to fill up the entire 16 by 16 hoop, there's an image that will come up like a shadow, just like this grid. It'll come up and it'll be the shadow of the size hoop that you choose. So I can show you that when we do the border. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's on its second one, and how are we for time? Okay, we're doing all right. I wanted to show you how it hesitates. It's not going to cut, but it's going to hesitate after it finishes the design. So you can see it's about to move on to the next one. See, this would normally be where it cuts, but it's not going to cut. It's just going to continue.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's why the speed change. Why they change the speed so that the brain can think. I guess. You know, we could have reversed that other one, so I could have had the pumpkins facing the other direction. So I could have mirror imaged it too. That would have been cute. So.
What are you embroidering on, by the way? Is that just a batting? It's really pretty.
Okay, here's another little secret or tip. And I've read this online on YouTube and Facebook, and people have said they've gone to the hardware store and bought drop cloths. And
Drop cloth?
Drop cloth, and that's exactly what this is. This is a canvas drop cloth.
I like it.
And it makes the best sample stitching material. And I don't have to ruin it. You know what I mean? You're going to stitch a sample like this, and you're not going to do much with it except show it.
Ruin your fabric. You don't want to ruin fabric that you're just going to put away, and you're just going to do a sample to show everybody.
Exactly.
I get it.
So you wash them up, and they're. People have said they've used them for the pillows. It's a nice fabric. It's
wow, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a really nice fabric, but definitely wash it first because it does shrink. It does shrink.
All right, while you're doing that, hey, Lucy, I see your comments. Lucy is talking about the Artspira app. So I believe it just came out. I have played with it a lot. Download it onto your phone. It's Artspira. Brother Sews put a link to the information if you want to learn how to use it. It's very simple. You can draw on it. You can send it to your embroidery machine. If your embroidery machine has Wi-Fi, there's a list of machines that it works with. And there are a lot of tutorials on the app with projects. So, Lucy, I'm not set up to show that today,
right.
But it is on the app. So download the app and start playing around. It's really fun. Got
a minute to go. Can we wait until it finishes?
Sure, why not?
Okay. It's really super cute. Everyone's
saying, this is fun. I love it.
Okay, good. Good. And then we'll move on to how I do or line up the sashing on the strapping using the border hoop. You know, my studio is downstairs in the basement. I am in New Jersey, and we do have basements, and the ceiling is exposed, so I have the rafters exposed, and they were all painted white for me, and I have nailed nails into the rafter, and that's where I hold. That's where my frames are, and this one was pushed off to the back, one of the back rafters, and you kind of forget that it's even there, but it's a cool hoop. And this one is still available. The 4x12. We'll have to double check on the not the 4x12, the 4x7. We'll have to check on the 4x12. Okay, we're done. Let me pull it out and show you. Oh, it is so stinking cute. All right, when you take this hoop off, make sure that you go to the corners and go underneath your foot. So here is the result. Is that cute?
Wow, look how cute that is.
It really is. Now, again, I could have flipped this one so it was, reversed, but you live and learn, right?
Oh, I love that.
I do too. I do too. That's really cute. But don't forget about these motif stitches. They're really quite cool. All right. So we'll go on to this sashing frame, or the border frame rather. This is an old one. I've traveled with it, and so it's well used. But this is a cool frame because it has hinges on it. So can you see the hinges here?
Oh yeah.
And there's snap hinges. So when I open one, the other one stays closed. So I'm able to adjust right here. And let's see if I can get this close enough. Okay, kind of. Well, you can see it on the side over here. You see the notches over here? Here is your center for the horizontal.
Oh yeah.
And then here are the notches, little all the way down. So when you put your border piece in, you can actually line up those notches. And it's hard to see with the light. But I'm looking at the center, and then I'm looking at each side as to whether or not it's even. Okay. So I can open both and adjust, or I can open one and adjust this end. Okay. Press this down. Oops, I let go too soon. Where is it? There it is. So I'm looking, keeping it even, press it down, and then I can open the other end and adjust this. So what I've done, and let's go back to my screen on the machine itself, and we can get out of this area. And I can go to the sashing. So we have 20 different sashing designs in single color. Then we have the double, or the two color. I haven't done anything. This would not be easy to use on your handles at all, because it's all angled pieces. And then we have the new, don't forget about the new edge to edge designs, which are gorgeous, and I love all of them. So, but we're going to do the sashing. And which one did I do? I did I did this one. So measure how wide your strap is, and then pull it in about a quarter of an inch, because you don't want it to go all the way to the edge. So we're going to do the pieces because I want a piece. I don't want to do the whole thing. So what I did was I just made up a size. So let's say 10 width, 10 length. This is the important one. So my sashing was 2 inches, or my strapping rather is 2 inches. So I'm going to make it 1.75 and set. Now I'm going to tell it right down here what hoop I'm using. Now I don't know whether this answers Shirley's question. It was Shirley, I think, that asked it. whether it answers a question or not, but I'm going to tell it that I'm using the 4 by the 7 by 4. Where is it? It's always buried. 7 by 14, 4 by 12, 4 by 7. Where is it? I had it yesterday. By 14. 4 by 12. That's the bigger hoop. Oh, come on. Well, that's perplexing because I had it yesterday. All right, let's do the 4 by 12. We're going to fool it and say okay. So we've done the border at 1.75. We're going to just say okay. And it tells me how many pieces. I have 8 pieces. So let's put that into memory. And here's where you can actually go. And let me see if it's on the screen. Okay. Down here, you can actually say single go around or triple go around. And this, you can change the color right here if you want. Doesn't matter. We're going to do memory and put it in memory. What you want is a piece of this. You're not doing a sashing. You're just doing a piece. So here's the piece that I want. I don't want the corner, and I don't want to do the automatic sashing. All I want is a piece. Now let's see how big this is. This is perfect. Okay, it's 4 inches long and 1.7 wide, and we're going to set that. So that's my piece that I'm going to work with right now. All right. Now I had set this, and I'm going to match this because I want to pull it up from the memory. So I saved it from yesterday in my machine memory, just so I get the same one. So I started, there it is right there. And we're going to set, come on. Yeah, okay, set. All right. So that's so this one was 5.26 by 7 by 1.75. So I did something different, or I don't know why it's not coming up this time, but I'll figure that out later. All right, so I'm going to put my sashing in, and I'm going to actually, this time I'm just going to do a little quick scan of the fabric, just so you can see what has already been stitched, because I stitched some of this yesterday. That was quick. Okay, so this was the one I stitched yesterday, and now in order to get the rest of it, I have to move my my strapping along. So I'm going to open up my strapping here. Okay, I do pull it off because I want to see the top of the oops, I put this down. I want to see the top measurements. So I'm going to line this up, and when I line it up, can you see that? Yes, I think you can.
Yeah.
I have to be within, so there's little notches over here. I have to be within the embroidery area because I have to line it up to this little stitch right here. So again, I'm going to line it up with I wish I had a light over here. Is that better?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. I'm going to line it up with a center, and then I'm going to look at each of the hash marks over here and say that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. So I'm going to line it up in the center here. I'm doing this in the air. Okay, there we go. So what I'm looking at is the center, and then how far over on this side between the hash marks, and how far over on this side between the hash marks. Okay, and then I'm going to put my hoop in. And I'm going to close my scan, and I'm going to go to embroidery. And the first thing I'm going to do is turn on my projector so that I can see. So the projector is up here, and it's going to bring up the box right here. And I'm going to take the box up to the top. All right. Now I'm going to go to the hoop itself, and I don't know if I can push. So yeah, there we go. So what I want to do is see that the image that it's projecting down matches where it left off. So this one needs a little bit of adjustment. So we're going to take, and we're going to move the design down, and we're going to move the design over. All right, that looks pretty good. And what I do, I also, and I don't know if I can reach the wheel, but and I don't mean to make you ill. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. I always roll in other words, when I go in here, turn off the projector, I go to my first stitch and I sink my needle by rolling it down to see that it's going to be just perfect. And it is. Let's see if I can get a close up. And I'm sorry if I'm making anybody ill.
We're getting there. Whoa.
Hang on. There.
We're there. We're getting there. There we are.
It is right on the money.
Look at that.
So I'm going to do the projector one more time, check the bottom to see that it's centered, and then we're going to go. So I'm going to move the camera. Close your eyes.
All right, everybody.
Okay, there we go. And I think you know what I mean about the projector. So we're going to do the projector one more time. Oh, I have to go back to reset. I know. First of all, the needle has to come up. You're seeing what mistakes I make all the time. I just want to get the work done, right? Yes, I know. I have to go back to the beginning. There we go. See, I'm talking to my machine. It tells me I don't do things right. And I'm going to do the image one more time. There we go. And it looks, I don't know, you can't really see because of the projector and the light and everything, but it is right on the money. So this is the edge on the one side and this is the edge on the other side. And I think we're good to go. We've already checked where the needle's going. So I'm going to say fine and stitch. This is such an easier way to do your strapping.
That is so cool.
Yeah, you know where it's going to land. You don't have to do 3 or 4 rows of decorative stitching, which take a little bit of time. This is quick and easy.
Wanda, you might have a longer. Wanda said, I have this hoop, but mine looks longer. There is a longer one.
Yeah, there is a longer one. It's a 4. That's the setting that I chose, the 4x12. I swear it was there yet. The 4x7 was there yesterday, and I can't find it. But yeah, you probably do have a longer one. They came out with a longer one after we said we need a bigger one. We always want a bigger hoop. I'm not, it's kind of funny. We always want what we don't have, right? All right, so then we just take that off, and there is the result. And let me
look at that.
So let's go in a little bit. Close your eyes if you need to. I'm going to dip down. Oops, that's not right. Okay, sorry. How about I bring it up here?
Yeah, that looks
better. That's
better. Really cool.
There is your connection right there. So just trim you can see it's perfect. And then I would continue down and keep going on down that strip. So undo and just move it down.
When it comes to the thread tails on that, is it just a lock stitch already? So you could just trim it? Or
yeah, you can just trim it. Side? Yeah, it's already locked on the back. You can just trim it.
Okay.
So what do you think?
Everyone loves this. They're loving it. So people
I'm going to come back to myself.
You can come back to yourself.
Yeah.
While she's switching cameras, I can see all of your questions. Here she is. Some people are asking, I mean, I've had this hoop since the Quattro, actually, the longer
Yes, right.
And somebody has a still air. They're asking if this hoop will work with the still air.
Yes.
Just roll it in.
Yeah, you just won't have your projection. You'll have to roll, sink the needle to see that you're in position wherever you want to put your stitches. And you could actually use the decorative motifs on these too. You could do it, if the sashing isn't available, you could do decorative motifs.
Very nice.
You could set it up. A lot of ways to do it.
So Myrtle has a good question, or Myrtis, I'm sorry. I didn't have my glasses on, Myrtis. So can you do this in the magnetic frame? Could you hold that strip and put it in the magnetic frame, do the same thing?
You can. But I will tell you, and this is why I kind of like the border hoop, is once you get your fabric on top, all your hash marks that are on the bottom are on the bottom side of your hoop. You can't see them anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So you can line it up, and yes, if you're just using the strip, the strapping, I lose my train of thought there. You can kind of see it, but you're going to put this on top of it, and then all your hash marks go away. So you got to make sure you're in the position that you want before you put your magnetic strip on. But yes, you could do that.
Yeah, that looks great.
So you just have to make sure that you are right on the money before you put your magnet on. And you know what? You could probably use the smaller magnets
Mm-hmm.
just to hold a strapping piece like this. And the 7x14 hoop would be okay to use too, because it's narrower. And if you're just doing a strapping, you don't need all this. You don't need 10 inches.
Extra.
So, yeah.
See some of you asking, where could you find that hoop? Call your brother dealer and ask them. They can order it for you if they don't have it. Everyone say, thank you, thank you. This was so amazing. This was a great tutorial. In fact, I'm going to be doing a Google search for the yoga animals. And then but you know, those stitches that you had, Dopsy had a good question. I missed this one. If you bring all of those cool stitches that you showed at the beginning in, can you take that into my design center then and change it at all, make them larger, or they're set? Do you know?
No.
Or, okay.
No, they are. It's just like an embroidery design. You can't take an embroidery design into my design center.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking, Dopsy. But I like the way you're thinking.
We will submit that suggestion.
Yeah. Speaking of yoga, if you all could just like take a view out my window, I've been feeding my little squirrels out here, and he looks like he's doing yoga. He's just sitting there like watching. He's like, this is so much fun. I'm going to have to train them. Barb, that'll be a whole new show.
It would. Yeah, it would. So sorry for the little, I don't know why the 4x7 didn't show up. I swear it did yesterday. So.
Oh, you know what? That's just because we're live. So I see some of you else asking about the Artspira app. Don't worry. There's going to be a ton of tutorials. Download your app, but make sure your machines are updated, not upgraded. Updated is free. So if you have a Wi-Fi machine, double check that it has the updates. I saw somebody saying, hey, I need a password. You set up your own account. So you join, set up your own account. There's other options in there. It's really, really easy. Barb, you've played with it. I mean, I was literally taking my name to embroidery within 5 minutes. So super fun. A great project's coming up too. Dopsy, the app is called Artspira. And let's see, it looks like this. I was just playing with it actually, because I saw you guys talking about this. Here you go. When you open it, it looks like this. Oh, is that? I don't know if it'll focus on there.
Yeah, kind of.
Bring myself up big for a second. This is what it looks like when you open it. And click in. I've already signed in. You'll register your machines up here. You just click on here. Register your machines. I've got my scan and cut hooked up. I've got my sewing machine. You hook in your Canvas workspace. And of course, there will be a lot of tutorials on that, but we're not doing it today. But I know you are excited to download it. So go download it and play with it. All right, Barb, that was an awesome project. Everybody's saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Love it. We love your bag. Brothers put up more links here too, if you guys are looking for stuff. So Barb, awesome project. Great bag. You're going to have to add pockets to the one bag though.
I know. Probably do a separate piece that fits inside.
That's what I'm thinking. That'll be on our next live show.
Good.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day. This is Thursday, so we will be back with you next week on the Brother Channel. And I saw some of you asking me about some of my classes. Feel free to email me. You can reach me at angelawolf.com. And you will see Barb and I in Houston next month.
Right.
Houston Quilt Fest. That's going to be so much fun. So stay tuned for details. And if you guys need anything, keep your comments rolling. Brother Social Team is always awesome to answer those. So, all right. What is the app name, Pat? It's Artspira. I think I'm saying it right now. I had a little bit of I was making up my own name, but Art Spira. Art Spira. All right, everyone. Barb, thanks again. Have a wonderful
You're
day.
welcome.
And Brother Sewing and Crafting family, thank you.